I bought an entire comic shop's inventory of back issues, and we're going to talk about it. All right, guys, we're going to get into this story. Really interesting. We're going to talk about the comic shop's back issues, what went down, what I picked up, and what did I pay. Before we get into all of it, hit me up on eBay Live. eBay, you can give me a follow. My store is loaded right now. I'm going to continue to put more stuff in my eBay shop. Click on the Save Seller tab. That way you get notifications when I'm going live on eBay. My name is VeryGary_comics over there. The same with Whatnot, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. All the same, VeryGary_comics. Also, in my eBay store, I have a whole bunch of new exclusive variants, whether it's a Cobra Commander #1, a Duke #1, we have a Transformers #1. All the turtle stuff that I have is on there as well. Check it out before it goes because I don't have a lot. It's very, very limited. And the prices are pretty good. They're like anywhere between $25 and $35 for a set. For two, Virgin Trade or Virgin Trade and Foil. Everyone's different. Make sure you read it. And again, hit me up as a saved seller on there. All right, let's get into it. And don't forget to hit the notification bell and all that and the subscribe button. Okay. So I got a phone call from a local comic shop asking me if I was interested in their entire back issue lot, everything they had. The reason, before anyone jumps to conclusions, no, the comic shop wasn't going out of business. They weren't failing. They were just pivoting. The shop's located in a very rural area, and they wanted to focus more on an experience type of store where you can come in, sit down, play some video games, maybe read a book, grab a bite to eat, because the back issues weren't doing well for them. That's one part. The second part is that for anyone who does this, like what I do, or use shops, if any of the comic shops are watching right now, who deal with back issues, you know how tedious it is. You know how much work goes into it, the bagging, the boarding, the pricing, the organizing, the acquiring it. That's part of it too, guys. I mean, I know it's real easy watching it in a video, but when you acquire a massive collection, it takes a lot of man hours to break that thing down. So he realized that he didn't have the manpower to actually run his back issues, and he couldn't do it well. And he figured if he couldn't do it well and he couldn't do it right, then it's best not to do it at all. Sell all the back issues, sell all the inventory, and then open up all that new available space in his shop for a different direction. So that's what happened. I'm going to leave the name of the shop out. If you think you know it, go ahead, you leave a comment, but I'm going to leave the shop's name out of it. And yeah, so one mistake I did make, guys, is I didn't record going through any box, and I'm going to explain why. Number one, I kind of forgot. Halfway through, I had remembered, like, oh crap, I should be recording all this. But by that point, it was already too late. It takes a like I said prior, it takes a tremendous amount of time to break a collection down. This was 50 short boxes. This was 50 short boxes. Remember the 48 short box collection we did, all the videos I did for that? It took so long, and I'm kind of up on a time crunch here because I not only have eBay live streams every week, I also do Whatnot streams every week. I wanted to just pull as much of the inventory out of there that was relevant as possible, get the rest of the junk out the door, bulked out to my guy who takes all my bulk, and move on to the next thing. If I were to record the way I did with the prior one, I mean, I'd still be doing it right now. So I just thought, the hell with it. Let me just blow through all this as fast as possible. I'm going to pull all the major keys. And what I actually did, the way I broke it all down, was I break it down between junk indies or non-important Marvel and DC titles. And then I also pull out the Marvel and DC titles that are relevant of bulk junk. I say junk, I just mean non-keys, non-variants, just basically reading. It's not really junk, and everybody gets on me for that. But it's not for me to sell. That's not my avenue. That's not what I do. So that gets all bulked out. So then I pull anything, any keys or long runs, I pull all those. And I was able to pull 6 short boxes of significant books. I don't mean major keys. I mean like decent things. I was also able to pull out a half a short box of silver filler. Maybe 1 or 2 keys are in there. Nothing of any real relevance. Everything I have right here that we're going to talk about that was really pulled out. And then what I do with all of, and I'm sorry if I'm boring you, but we are going to break, I am going to talk to you about these books here. What I did with the 6 boxes of OK books, I split that up. Again, a lot of these books are handled off a lot of times. I split that up between the stuff I'm going to bring to shows and put in the boxes that some of you guys look through at New York Comic Con, Terrificon, KingCon. And then the other half goes to Whatnot and eBay. Some of this stuff might actually end up in my eBay store and not even get to eBay Live. So that is a lot of time. So much time goes into that. Then I pull out the stuff that's worth really talking about for the videos. And that's right here. So we're going to talk about this. Some books are worth more than others in here, and some may not even have been worth pulling, but a big variety here. So all the bulked out stuff is gone. And then I split up between box stock for shows and box stock for Whatnot and eBay Live sales. That gets split up. And then what I'm left with is this stack of books here, which is the major keys. Again, we're talking, and I actually have another box of raw stuff that's going to end up on eBay of like very oddball, niche-y things that it's going to be really difficult to sell on a live sale because it's something that an individual would want very specific. Oddball stuff, like I'm looking right there at a pile, I see 8 Ball, the book 8 Ball number 9 or something. Just something with value, but it's very, very niche-y. Again, it's not worth doing in a live sale, maybe not even bringing to shows. It's better to just sit on eBay so when the person is interested and goes on eBay to look for it, mine's there for them to buy, and it makes life easy. It's a lot of work, too, to put these streams together and to put these the eBay store, get that going, because I'm only one person. It's a lot of time. And, a lot of you know I do have a regular 9 to 5. So, all right, let's get into this pile of books. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason here, no order, so I'm just going to start grabbing stuff. The first thing I want to show you guys is pretty wild. This is a Spider-Woman number 5. Not that big of a deal, not that important of a book, but I do have to open it because the interior, basically they put the wrong cover on the wrong book. You see a Spider-Woman number 5 from 1978, right? But on the inside, we have a Star Wars number. What number is this Star Wars issue? I don't remember what number this is. But anyway, number 13. This is Star Wars. This is Spider-Woman. Again, Star Wars. Let me see so you know it's Star Wars. There you go. I see lightsabers and everything. Star Wars, Spider-Woman. This is kind of cool. This is something I think I'm going to send to CGC just because it's so different. And I don't know really what the value is. And it's just oddball, something different that will probably end up on eBay. In my store, not an eBay Live sale. 2 copies of Thor 337. This is the first Beta Ray Bill. This is Batman 423 newsstand first print. We know this classic McFarlane cover. This one is in the 8.0 range. Nothing jaw-dropping. Wolverine 1 through 4, the mini-series. We're going to go quick because I did a lot of talking, so I apologize. This was in there. All newsstands. No, the first 2 issues were newsstands. Issue 1 is probably in like the 8.0, 8.5 range. 2 copies of All-Star Comics 58. This is the first Power Girl. This one's a pretty low grade, and this one is significantly better. Probably an 8 to an 8.5. I don't think you're in the 9.0 range. Maybe with a press if the grader is being generous. Amazing Spider-Man 361 newsstand. This is the first appearance of Carnage. And I want to remind everyone again, this all came out of a single comic shop. Avengers 257. This is the first Nebula direct copy. Some of this stuff you'll see on the wall at my show, at the shows. Some of this stuff you'll see in the bins at the shows. And some of the stuff you will see on eBay Live or whatnot. This is New Mutants Annual number 2. This is the first Psylocke. This is a newsstand copy. Not great. 7.0. 7.0 copy. X-Men Annual 14. Is this the first appearance of Gambit? That's for you guys to debate. But anyway, this is that book. Whatever. You guys debate it. Long Shot number 1. This is the first Long Shot, and I believe the first Spiral. And I think issue 3 is the first Mojo. This was the only one in there. Just issue 1. And this one is not a great copy, even with a pressure at a 7.0 at best. All right, let me keep going here. Amazing Spider-Man 298 newsstand copy. First McFarlane on ASM. First Venom cameo, kind of, sort of. I believe, is it the first full Eddie Brock? I'm not sure. This one tricks me a little bit. But anyway, that's a newsstand copy. 2 X-Factor 6s. This is the first Apocalypse. A direct and a newsstand. X-Men 266. Is this the first Gambit? I don't know. The market says it is. But hey, again, this is for you guys to argue. X-Men 244, First Jubilee. X-Men 4 in a newsstand. This is the first Omega Red. I'm going to save this book actually for Terrificon because Jim Lee will be at Terrificon. This is a nice newsstand copy, high grade of the first Omega Red. West Coast Avengers 45, First White Vision. What's nice is this little batch of stuff. There was a good mix of direct and newsstand. Avengers Annual number 10, First Rogue. This book suffers from a bad cover, but it's a great book if you read it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures number 1. This is a cool one too. So this is DC Comics Presents 27. This is the first Mongol. However, if you pay very close attention, you'll see the price at the top. That is 15 pence. This is a UK version here. Something pretty cool. I'll probably end up with that on eBay Live. Avengers 181 newsstand copy, first Scott Lang. We know Scott Lang becomes Ant-Man in Marvel Premiere 47? So this is actually the first Scott Lang. Savage She-Hulk number 1. Kind of low grade, a lot of staining on this, but still worth mentioning. We're blowing through this. Werewolf by Night 33, Second Moon Knight. Second Moon Knight here. I'm going to save some of this stuff for last. How is this little... Okay. Secret Wars number 1. Nice book. Actually a really nice grade, but yeah, never mind. Looks better. No, not a very nice grade. Let me see this. I want us to save kind of... Okay, Captain Marvel number 1. Big premiere issue. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. This is one of my favorite books in here, and it's such a low grade. Tape is on the spine. Cover and... front cover, back cover, both detached. Fantastic Four Annual number 2. I believe this is the origin of Doctor Doom, and if you look real close, you will see it is signed by Joe Sinnott. No, we don't have a COA with this one, but if you know Joe Sinnott's signature, it's so elegant. You know that's a Joe Sinnott signature. And Joe Sinnott used to sign in my area quite often, so that is definitely 100% a Joe Sinnott. X-Men number 7. Second appearance of the Blob. That's nice. We have Astonishing Tales 25, First Deathlock. Great book. That book, I don't hang on to that. It's not a very, very expensive book, but for some reason, when I acquire an Astonishing Tales 25, it doesn't stay with me very long. People either ask for it or it's off the wall at a show very, very quick. Swamp Thing number 1, low grade here. You're looking at like a mid-grade copy of this book. Okay, I have 4 books left. Which order do I want to go? Here, we'll do this one first. This is Akira 38. For you guys who don't know, this is the final issue that came out years later or months later from issue 37. Extremely, extremely low print run. This one is in decent shape, like a 9.0, 9.2. It might be going to CGC just because of the book that it is. And I want to make sure that it's graded properly, not my eyes. I'm a professional grader because I want to make sure it's very, 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 very accurate. I don't believe it's a 9.8. There's a little bit of color rubbing on the bottom corner. But again, very difficult to find this book. Very low print run. Akira 38. Submariner number 1. This book took a beating after Black Panther came out, but it's still a great cover. Great cover. Still his first ongoing series. 2 books left to talk about. Let's talk about this one first. This is Tales to Astonish 63, first appearance of the Leader. Rumor has it the Leader will be appearing again because he was in the Hulk, right? The first Hulk movie, wasn't he? Anyway, I think so. That the Leader will be in Captain America number 4 with Sam Wilson. That the Leader will be an antagonist in the movie. I don't know if he's going to be the main antagonist because there's all the rumors with Red Hulk, but the Leader, this is a really good book that you don't see this very often. I can't even tell you if I've ever owned this book. I don't know if I ever have, but that's the first Leader. And last but not least, very low grade, but I saved it last because it's special to me. This is Journey into Mystery 103, First Executioner, First Enchantress. Very, very, very great book. So we're going to go over the price, but I want to recap everything you just saw. All right. You combine that with 6 short boxes of okay books worth selling in the $5 to $10+ range. Then you have a short box for eBay of very niche stuff. We talked about this. There were 2 slabs. There was a Tomb of Dracula number 10 in a 2.0. All right, very low grade, First Blade, and a Marvel Superheroes number 20, the Doctor Doom cover, and that was like a 5.0. Those are both easy books to sell, so I wasn't concerned about that. So all that combined, there is a boatload of bulk junk, dreck, whatever you want to say, stuff that I'm not interested in. A massive amount, probably about 40 boxes or so of stuff that just needs to get out of the house, whether it was good titles or bad titles. So all that combined, I forgot what I paid, but it was somewhere between $3,100 and $3,300, somewhere in that range. Retail for all this, I'm hoping, is around $6,000 or more. Depends how the live shows go. It depends how the market responds. It also depends on the upcoming shows. Again, King Con, Terrificon, and New York Comic Con. So that is the whole story. I want to make sure everyone realizes the store did not go out of business. They're just pivoting a little bit, and they're still continuing with their weekly titles. So that's that. All right. I talked a long time. This was if you guys are still watching now, hats off to you. Thank you so much. So thank you for watching. I appreciate it as always. Keep it comics.